probably not the best background to be using here. Let me change this. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. Oh no. I am a brain dead idiot. There. That's better. That's better. Oh, what the fuck was I thinking? I wasn't. Well, I was, but I tend to do some stupid things. See if we get some people to show up. I don't know about the StreamYards thing. I've never used it. I don't know. Come on, you quant. We'll go into the just chatting. See what we can get in here. Yo, what's up, Cubing? How you doing, bud? Let's go ahead and get that TTS up. Oh, it's gonna be an interesting one. Just got off Ike's stream and
a wild cubing speed
just lurking.
entered the chat. Welcome to the stream.
Alrighty.
Cubing speed said
Get
just lurking.
I'll do the regular intro. Fuck it. Get some. They asked me to start a stream and nobody shows up. That'd be great. Oh no, I just knocked over some Transformers. Oh shit. Music stop. Ah!
My no square. Touch me there. This is my no square. No, don't touch me there. No, my no square. No, don't touch me there. This is my no square. No, don't touch me there. My no square. Square, 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 square. Don't touch me there. My no square, 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 square.
I wonder. Oh, test. Oh, let's see. That was like a StreamYard's crap. I've never used it. Let's see. Here, see? That sucks. They're all, yeah, start a stream. Started one. They still just showed up. Kind of, let downish. Why did I even bother? Let's see what happens. Another stream pops up. We'll, I'm gonna mute myself. Check your camera and mic. That's good. We got our studios. Oh shit. So let's get this up for now. You're not on stage yet. Click to add your audio. Yeah, I've never used this shit before. I know some people can't use Discord like I can, because they're on their phone and video backgrounds are not supported in the studio. That's good to know. Ah, god damn it. What the shit? Loop, bitch. What the fuck? So, what is up, everybody? It's Chaos for U728. And I'm back once again. We're actually not gonna take a little break tonight. You know, I was kind of under the impression that people are gonna show up from Ike's stream, but I guess yeah, that didn't happen, did it? Now that's kind of unfortunate, but you know, it is what it is, I guess. So probably will end up doing a gaming stream in the end here, or just deleting this because yeah, nobody showed up. But yeah, fuck it. There's some shit that's going on in the world, and I guess people are putting their opinions out there. I guess I'm gonna put mine out there, just like everybody else. Mine's a little bit more controversial, and I'm gonna I'll tell you why, and I'll be going over why over the next starting in December. So hope to see people there. It starts with the biblical series. We're gonna go on the same journey I started going on in my red pill journey, and we're gonna talk about what we some things that one that I notice, some people may not, and we're gonna talk about what we pick up for it. My goal is not to convert anybody, or is this solely for educational purposes. And we're going to use, because the Bible in itself is more than just the gospel. It is a history book. It is teaches us of what the times were like back then. And if you think about it, we're kind of close to what that is, except it's not the ill-begotten son or the people that keep the society up and running, which is the little blue collar white class, middle class, I guess. I don't. I think I'd be considered poor because I don't I don't meet the middle to upper middle class standard in America here. But that's okay. I've learned to live within my means throughout my life, so it's easier to do. But so going into a little bit of history here, and I can get fact checked on this if anybody, even if the Google YouTube overlords want to. I'm about 95% on most of my stuff. um, so in the 1912, 1812, it was near the Bolshevik Revolution. I think it was 1912. They when the Bolsheviks took over, there's a thing a lot of people don't talk about. I'm probably gonna get in trouble. I don't hate as anybody as a collective. It is at an individual basis, so I need to get that out there. First and foremost, I do not hate anybody based on the color of their skin, their ethnicity, their gender, whatever the fuck. I go off of the individual. If you're good to me, I'm good to you. Religion and all that shit, politics aside, you treat me good, I'm gonna treat you good. But there's some stuff out there that doesn't get taught that I think and feel should be brought to light. Um, so a majority of the Bolsheviks were of a certain group of people that we're not supposed to really talk about. And these, they're the likes of like Karl Marx
Cubing speed.
and
Said. You're an
Trotsky
asshole bastard.
and Lenin and Stalin, and even you could even throw Hitler in there because he was part of that whole revolution too. Because at the end of the day, socialism and communism are two sides of the same coin. One leads into the other, and the only way to get into those is through democracy, through the vote. And after the Bolsheviks managed to convince the poor to kill off all the farmers, and they served their purpose when the people started to protest because they were starving at that point because they killed off all the people that were growing their food. They the government, the Bolsheviks.
Delayed and glitchy, but the damned song bled my ears.
You're welcome. Glad you enjoyed it. The people in power, they killed, or they turned the guns on the people. I wish I could get Amazon Books. Actually, I might be able to. This might work. I might be able to bring up this books. We're gonna talk about. We'll bring up this book if it lets me. We shall see. Browsing history, recommendations, orders. It doesn't show me books. Where are my books at? Just finished your dinner. Gonna go grab some more beer. I'll be back in a minute. Alrighty. Get your boo scoom boogie in here.
Said. Just finished my dinner, gonna go grab some more beer. I'll be back in a minute.
So I own this, so I shouldn't technically have to buy it again, but it looks like it's gonna try and make me buy it again. God damn it. That's unfortunate. Because I know some people like to read with, but unfortunately, oh, it's Kindle. Do I have a Kindle app? Can I get a Kindle app on here? The book that I would be sharing is The Naked Communist. And it is it's a long book. That was all the way in chapter 10. So we're gonna go all the way back.
Mike Carrier.
And we're going to read
said,
from the
At
beginning.
least we know BLM stands behind the Palestinians, lol.
You know, they stand behind the ones that are attacking Israel. Here's a fun fact: I don't stand with either of them, so let them deal with themselves. So I need to alter the title here. Talk about
A wild. Aaron Holmes entered
the
the
Naked
chat. Welcome to the stream.
Communist.
Aaron Holmes said, "Greetings, programs."
Chaos reads a book. Yeah, we're about to get educational.
About the babies on the battlefront beheaded. I have enough
Babies on the
grief knowing
battlefront.
more needless war is on ISNTA.
Oh, it's coming whether you want it to or not. That's the thing. That's the unfortunate thing. It's coming whether we want it to or not. And I will be getting into that later on in the stream as well, because there's some shit there. Actually, I'll bring it up now. I do believe that before the election, we will be going into World War III. Hope I'm wrong, but this is a theory. I do not know if it's 100%. I don't know. Just and the reason I say that, because if we go into a wartime situation, the election will get put off. And then Biden will just get to chill and relax in power until this war ends. And God only knows how long that'll take. So let's get over here to Discordin. Oh God, you're being a twant. Here we go. And so, hope y'all are ready. Got your drinks. This is gonna be interesting.
Was it the Naked Communist or Communist
No,
Manifesto?
this is the Naked Communist. So I will be actually reading the Communist Manifesto too. That's a fun book. All for educational purposes. So I hope y'all are ready for a good time, because it's gonna be interesting. I do wish I had a Kindle app on my computer that would allow me to share this, so y'all could
entered the chat.
so y'all could see what I'm reading and kind of read along and all that shit. What's up, Bacon? How you doing, bud?
A wild Soldier Girl 2022 entered the chat. Welcome to the stream.
Can I get it on the computer?
2022 said, "Are
We
you
download
doing
it
a
on my
live
computer.
stream to talk?"
Yeah,
The
that's what we're
goddamn
doing.
bacon said. Soldier Girl wanted to ask if she can get the Discord link.
Yeah,
Soldier Girl
I
2022
gotcha.
said. Hey Bacon, what s up?
Bacon, what I'm
Keeping
gonna
speed,
do
said.
is,
I've them on download as intended reading but not eager for more textbooks to put me asleep.
yeah, it shouldn't. You should be good. I think I've messaged. Yeah, I'm gonna message you in Discord. Oh my God, so many people. Where are you at, Bacon? Yep, that's you. Paste, send, and I need to get off of that because my personal information just got out there. Come on, I'm not afraid. If you want to put me down, you can try. Be doing me a favor, shit. So I might actually be able to bring this up on so y'all can see it and read along. So that's cool. We'll just bear here and just bear with it
Soldier
for
Girl
here for a second.
2022
I have sent the
Send
Discord
me the
link.
Discord.
I sent the link to Bacon because I don't think I have you as a friend here. Mama 2K Kirby Zoro Manic Engler Primo. Poof. I don't think I see you. Yeah, I sent it to Bacon, and he can send it to you. God damn it! Quit doing that shit. There you go. PC ready for the Amazon App Store. Haha. Almost done. Restart your PC. We can finish setting up. Ah, shit. It's wanting me to restart my PC. Ha! Ha! So, that's not gonna happen then. That's unfortunate. Ah, shit. So, we'll get some streaming music going. We'll get the music real low, get the mood right. We'll do My Peaceful Chaos. Turn down just a smidgen bit more.
Cubing speed. Said. Then bring in peeps on to chop it up smarta pants.
Well, yeah, they've got if there's Discord. That's all I've got. I don't have StreamYard set up, and it's apparently a whole ass process. So, and they're want me to do shit, pay for shit. So I'll get the StreamYards thing set up eventually.
Cubing speed.
I'm not sure.
Said. Not seeing any link.
Motherfucker. I gotta be careful with this link shit. And it was for Soldier Girl too, so I would have to generate another link in order for that to be a thing. So we're gonna get that off of there and bring this back up, because y'all need to be seeing personal information. If you're already a member of the Discord, You just get in there and you go to just chatting, cubing. I believe you're already a member of my Discord. It said it's one of those things. I gotta be careful who I.
Was just reminding you if you didn't already.
No. So the only way anybody's getting invited into my Discord is if they know somebody. So the only way to get in here is through nepotism. That's it. That's the only way. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Nepotism ho. And for those that don't know what nepotism means, it's kind of like how I got my job. I knew the person I worked with, and that benefited me in the end. No, that wasn't just the sole thing. I did have to show them why they would want to hire me and keep me around, and I have done a very, very, very good job. 5 years! 5 years still going, and minimal, maybe a handful of complaints. So, anyways, let's get into this. Starts off with the preface. It's got a picture of Ronald Reagan. I thought I had the thing that I could hook my phone up to and jack it into the... But I was very wrong. So, unfortunately, I can't do that. Ain't made time to join Discord yet. Busy with every other thing late. I'll bug you for a Discord link in future.
Made time to
yeah,
Discord,
so I believe my email address is in the abouts. So if anybody does want to email me in regards to that, get free too. And we'll get something going. Sorry, oh. Really? Oh, I guess it would help if I spelled the words right. Anyways, it starts off with, much has happened in the 60 years since the Naked Communists Exposing Communism and Restoring Freedom first appeared in a privately published book in 1958. So that's how far back this book goes, is 1958. This is just after World War II.
The goddamn bacon said. Cubing speed understandable. Cubing speed said. Well, smart move would be to pass emails first, vet veracity of individuals, and then make a go of it from then and there.
Just make sure when you do email me, it's noticeable. Like, I see it. Because I don't check my emails often. God damn it. You're gonna make me do a password recovery, ain't you? Bastard. Anyways. At the bookstores, at the height of the anti-communist movement in America, he is having trouble getting it to work. Better to have the app. It's better to do this on a computer, to be honest.
Cubing speed.
Deek peek. Be careful before you
label it deek pic and booty money shots.
Get a dick pic you don't want to see. Wait, I can't edit my thing on the fly like I can in StreamYards. This book is by W. Cleon Skousen. He's actually the one that also wrote Solving the Mysteries of Babylon the Great. This guy's going to study communism and its ruthless expansion around the world for several decades. I've managed to do it in the span of like 5 years. And it's a lot of fucking shit. Confusion over movements, ultimate goals, and philosophies and theories that drove it into popularity spurred Skousen into writing this book. It was an instant hit and became a national bestseller with copies appearing on shelves of more than 1 million homes across America. Today, after the spread of communism has slaughtered an essential 150 million people, and now threatens to reignite its consuming global reach, The Naked Communist is as relevant as it was 60 years ago. In July 2014, the noted surgeon and political commentator Ben Carson appeared on Fox News and said The Naked Communist lays out the whole progressive agenda. And it does. It fucking does. It's the little groundwork they're working off of. You would think by reading it that it was written last year. It shows what the progressives are trying to do to American family and what they're trying to do to destroy our Judeo-Christian values and morality. Reagan had worked with Skousen in 1950 and 1960s to combat the spread of communism's destructive ideas, and said no one is better qualified to discuss the threat to the nation for communism. You'll be alarmed, you'll be informed, and you'll be glad you heard Selskin. Yeah.
I never remember his name right.
Dostoevsky. In 1961, Skousen added to his book the 45 Communist Goals that laid out the steps aimed at ruining the culture of America. The purpose was to abolish the Constitution and turn the United States into the fold of Marx's theoretical one-world government. As of 2017, all but one of those 45 goals have been reached. Today, 60 years later, it is more important than ever to understand these communist ideas and to know how they have eroded freedom around the world. With that understanding, readers will be prepared to take action. They will know what steps are needed to resist liberty, rescue liberty. See, I'm dyslexic, so you have to forgive me sometimes. In this, the last nation is still standing in opposition to the failure formula that has wrecked hundreds of millions of lives over the past century. There's a Izzard Inc. Publishing, May of 20. Okay. The making. So we're gonna. This is just the making. We need to skip the making and go right into the book. So bear with me. It's a lot of shit. God damn. Where's chapter 1 at? There we go. The Rise of the Marxist Man, Homo Marxian. It's a terrible and awesome thing when a man sets out to create all other men in his own image. Such became the goal and all-consuming ambition of Karl Marx. Not that he would have made each man equal to himself. In fact, it was quite the contrary. The image that he hoped to construct was a great human colossus, with Karl Marx as the brain and builder, and all other men serving him as the ears and eyes, feet and hand, mouth and gullet. In other words, Marx surveyed the world, dreamed of the day when the whole body of humanity would be forced into a gigantic social image which conformed completely to Marx's dream of a perfect society. And believe it or not, Karl Marx himself was a morbidly obese jackass that squandered all the money that he would get. Gave his family just enough to get by. He squandered the rest on philandering and all of that good stuff.
To achieve his goal, Marx required two things. First, the total annihilation, all opposition, the downfall of all existing governments, all economies, all societies. Then he wrote, I shall stride through the wreckage a creator. The second thing he needed was a new kind of human being. He visualized a regimented breed of Pavlovian men whose minds could be triggered into immediate action by signals from their masters. He wanted a race of men who would no longer depend upon free will, ethics, morals, or conscience for guidance. Perhaps without quite realizing it, Marx was setting out to create a race of human beings conditioned to think like criminals. Which he was, because a person without morals, ethics, and all of that is essentially just an animal at that point. And a very dangerous, very dangerous individual. Visualize the regiment breed, I already read that. Producing such a race had been the dream of power-hungry men for more than 4,000 years. Nimrod had projected the design, Plato polished it, Simon sublimated it, now Marx materialized it. Today, this breed of criminally conditioned men walks the earth in sufficient numbers to conquer countries or continents, to change laws and boundaries, to decree war or peace. He might well be called Homo Marxian, the Marxist man. He has made it terribly clear that he intends to become the man of the 20th century. Homo Marxian is frightening and puzzling to the rest of humanity because a criminally conditioned mind does not respond the way normal people expect. For example, if a well-meaning person invited a professional criminal into his home for dinner, the shifty-eyed guest would be likely to survey the fine variety of choice foods, the expensive silverware and shiny goblets, and completely miss the warm sincerity and friendship which the host was trying to convey. In fact, the criminal mind would probably conclude that his host was not only soft-hearted, but soft-handed. Eventually, he would get around to deciding that such a weak man could not possibly deserve many fine things. Then he would spend the rest of the evening figuring out how he could return in the darkness of the night and relieve his host of all of his bounteous treasures. That's a big word, bounteous. Means a lot. Abundant is another word to use there. Anyone familiar with the history of communist leadership during the past 100 years will immediately recognize the same kind of mind at work. The flagrant abuse of U.S. friendship and generosity during World War II is typical. Homo Marxian puzzles all those who try to work with him because he seems irrational and therefore unpredictable. In reality, however, the Marxist man has reduced his thinking to the lowest common denominator of values taken from nature in the raw. He lives exclusively by the jungle law of selfish survival. In terms of these values, he is rational almost to the point of mathematical precision. Though calm or crisis, his responses are consistently elemental and therefore highly predictable. Because Homo Marxian considers himself to be made entirely of the dust of the earth, he pretends to know no other role. He denies himself the possibility of a soul and repudiates his capacity for immorality. He believes he had no creator and has no purpose or meaning for existence except as an incidental accumulation of accidental forces in nature. Being without morals, he approaches all problems in a direct, uncomplicated manner. Self-preservation is given as the sole justification for his own behavior and self-motives, or stupidity in quotation marks, are his only explanations for the behavior of others. With Homo Marxian, the signing of 53 treaties In subsequent violation, yeah, homo something. Violation of 51 of them is not hypocrisy, but strategy. The subordination of other men's minds to the obscuring of truth is not deceit, but a necessary governmental tool. Marxist man has convinced himself that nothing is evil which answers the call of expediency. He has released himself from all the confining restraints of honor and ethics which mankind has previously tried to use as a basis of harmonious human relations. Again, homogeny. History is demonstrating that because of his mental conditioning, Homo Marxian is probably the most insecure of all men in his feelings. Yeah, one of those men you attack their ego, make them think, and they get mad and lash out violently. Yeah, there you go. Someone like my dad. It's demonstrating that because his mental conditioning of Marxian, the most insecure of all men in his feelings, since he believes himself to be an accidental phenomenon in the purposeless universe. He has an insatiable appetite to bring all things under his total domination. He admits that until this is done, he cannot feel secure. Not only must he conquer the human race, but he has assigned himself the task of conquering matter, conquering space, and conquering all the forces of cosmic reality so as to bring order out of natural chaos. Yeah, that's a fucking ego, baby. He must do this, he says, because man is the only creature in existence which has the accidental but highly fortunate capacity to do intelligent, creative thinking. He believes that since Homo Marxian is the most advanced type of man, he must accept the responsibilities of a supreme being. He is perfectly sincere in his announcement that Homo Marxian proposes to become the ultimate governor and god of the earth, and then of the universe. So if you really get down to the nitty-gritty balls of it, it's actually a Luciferian ideology. Under the impact of such sweeping theoretical ambitions, many non-Marxists have been caught in the emotional tide of this ideological fantasia, and have allowed themselves to be carried along in the current toward the shores of what they hoped would be a promised land of man-made godliness. However, in recent years, a growing number of these pilgrims have risked life itself to come back to reality. Each one returns with the same story. Homo Marxian was found to behave exactly like the graduate creature from the jungle, which he believed himself to be. He regards all others with fearful suspicion and responds to each problem as though his very existence were at stake. Although he demands the highest right to rule humanity, he disdainfully rejects the most basic lessons learned during thousands of years of human experience. Returning pilgrims bear one witness. Homo Marxian has reversed the direction of history. It's not really progression, we're regressing. Yeah, and they destroy everything. Yeah. He has turned man against himself, and that is exactly what has happened to society. We've been turned against ourselves. So, brainwashed into hating ourselves, hating our country, hating our culture. Well, not us in particular, but the people that were born after us. It is in the historical crisis that man finds himself today. Marxist man could not have come upon the earth at a more illogical time. In an age when technological advances have finally made it feasible to adequately feed, clothe, and house the entire human race, Marxist man stands as a military threat to this peaceful achievement. His sense of insecurity drives him to demand exclusive control of human affairs in a day when nearly all other peoples would like to create a genuine United Nations dedicated to world peace and worldwide prosperity. Sorry. Although man can travel faster than sound and potentially provide frequent, intimate contacts between all cultures and all people, Marxist man insists on creating iron barriers behind which he can secretly work. Marxist man makes no secret of his ultimate objectives. He is out to rule the world. Because Homo Marxian is still an adolescent, he knows he cannot devour the whole human race in one greedy gulp. Therefore, he must be satisfied with one chunk at a time. As we shall see later, he has a so this is still the synopsis. This is a good place to start other than any, because this describes the bullshit altogether pretty well. As we shall see later, he has adopted an orderly timetable of conquest, which he is following with a deadly fixation. According to communist prophecy, time is running out of the free world. This dilemma leaves the unconquered portion of frightened humanity with only 3 possible courses of future action. 1. They can meekly capitulate it. And by meekly, that means unsheath our swords, go and take that fucker back, and then sheathe our swords and get back on with shit. 2, they could try to coexist. But that's proven to be very difficult because they keep changing the rules as they're going along, making it almost insufferable to want to coexist with these bastards. And then 3, they can set about to pull the blustering bully down. Just basically what I said the first time, but more, I'm gonna take a stab and say blustering means something a little more aggressive. As far as this writer is concerned, so this is the actual writer. So yeah, so I'm still in the synopsis of it. There's absolutely no question whatever as to the course of action free men must ultimately take. In fact, it is the only choice the law of survival allows. Surely no man who has felt the throbbing pound of freedom in his veins could countenance capitulation as a solution. No man who knows what lies behind the lethal communist program of coexistence would dare accept that proposal as a long-range solution. It's not working now. Sorry, I keep headbutting my mic. What then remains? Several years ago, while serving with the FBI, this writer became aware the experts on Marxism have known for a long time that there are definite ways to stop communism cold. Furthermore, if free men move in time, this can be done without a major war. This is why this book was written. Yep. Take it easy, Ike. I know. This is going to be tough. I got to figure out how to do StreamYards. I wish I could share this with y'all. Fortunately, I don't have the thing for my phone. Or I do it, I just don't know where it's at, and I got to find it. They're well established and easily... Did I skip something? I did. If free men move in time, this can be done without a major war. That is why this book was written. It was written under the persuasion that modern men would be foolish indeed if they accepted the phenomenon of Homo Marxian as a permanent mixture in the earth. There are well established and easily understood historical reasons why every legitimate influence should be brought to bear on the removal of this roadblock from the pathway of normal human advancement. This must be done for the sake of Homo Marxian as well as for the rest of humanity. He is the victim of a man-made experiment, trapped in his own self-perpetuating cycle of human negation. As long as free men are the prevailing majority in the earth, there is a very good chance of breaking the cycle. To do so, however, free men must achieve an intelligent and dynamic solidarity at least as strong as the illusionary but firmly fixed purposes of Homo Marxian. At the conclusion of the study, there are listed a number of policies which, if used in time, could remove the roadblock that Marxist man had thrown across the pathway of the race. These policies are solutions which automatically spring out of an understanding of the history, philosophy, ultimate objectives of Marxism. They are also the cold hard facts which have grown out of our bitter experiences in attempting to deal with the Marxist man. If enough people will study the problem and move across the world in one vast united front, it is entirely possible that the race can celebrate the close of the 21st century with this monumental achievement. Freedom in our time for all men. Oh, okay, so here's actually chapter 1. These are the founders of communism. These are the people that brought a name to the ideology. I will bring up a picture of these gentlemen. Oh, yeah. We'll visit it here. Oh, god damn it. You're going to be a twant and make me... Ha! I love how it does this. Get a side by side of them. Oh, you didn't get... Okay. We'll do this right here, y'all. Alright. So, this is Marx and Engel. The fun fact about this man right here, especially, is of a certain group of people we really can't, we're not allowed to talk about. Otherwise, we'd be labeled anti-Semites. And you know what? I'm perfect. If you want to think I'm an anti-Semite, that's fine. I really don't give a fuck. In this chapter, we shall try to become acquainted with two men. The first is Karl Marx, the originator of communism, and the second is Frederick Engels, his collaborator. Again, he put a name to it. Communism's been around a lot longer than what Marx put to it. Every authoritarian regime before Marx, or before, the Holy Roman Empire, was a communist regime. The Ottoman Empire was another one. Every country, every society before that, even the Egyptians, at one point in time. Alright, we're ready. First is Karl Marx, the originator of communism, and the second is Frederick Engels, collaborator. We shall try to present their lives in the way that communists present them. Not as the soft, visionary social reformers, which so many textbooks seem anxious to describe, but rather as the two-fisted, power-hungry revolutionists which their closest followers found them to be. What's up, VJ Max Gamer? How you doing, bud? Hope all is well. We're not doing your typical gaming stream tonight. We're doing some educational stuff, bruh. It's very informative stuff. We're learning about Marx and Engels. And then I'm probably going to end the stream because it's creeped up on 4 o'clock. Although presented in brief summary, this chapter attempts to include sufficient details so that the students of communism could answer these questions. Why do Marxist writers call their founder a genius that frankly admit he was a violent, quarrelsome, contentious man, a dictator, and a swashbuckler? Was Marx well educated? What was his nationality? Where did he do most of his revolutionary writing? How was it that Marx never acquired a profession, an office, an occupation, or a dependable means of livelihood? How did Engels differ from Marx? What were the 6 principal goals which Marx and Engels set forth in the Communist Manifesto? Why did Marx believe one of his first tasks was to dethrone God? Why did he think his book Capital would change the world? Which we'll also be reading over time as well, y'all. Why did Marx fail in his 2 attempts to create organizations for the promotion of world revolution? On a chilly, foggy day in 1853, a British government official stood in the drizzling rain before the doorway of a human hovel in the heart of London's slums. He knocked, and after a short delay, was admitted. As the officer entered the room, thick clouds of smoke and tobacco fumes billowed about his head, causing him to choke and cough, while his eyes watered. Through the haze, he saw the proprietor of the slum dwelling, a barrel-chested man with disheveled hair and a bushy beard. The man greeted the officer in a strong German accent, offered him a clay pipe, and then motioned him toward a broken-back chair. If the officer had not known better, he would never have guessed that the bushy-bearded man who sat before him was a graduate of a university with a Ph.D. degree. Nor that his wife, who had just hustled the children into a back room, was the daughter of a German aristocrat. Yet such was the case. This was the residence of Dr. and Mrs. Karl Marx. At the moment, Karl Marx was a political fugitive. Having been driven from Germany, France, and Belgium, England had granted him domicile, along with other revolutionary leaders from the continent, and from this Marx was grateful. Gave him a lifelong base from which to continue his revolutionary work. On this particular day, the presence of the officer was no cause for alarm. It was a routine check which the British government made on all political exiles living in England. Nor was the officer hostile. He found that Marx is strange but interesting people who could engage in very lively conversations on worldly problems while sitting blissfully in a domestic environment of incomprehensible confusion. The officer later introduced his puzzled observations concerning the Marxes in his official report. Marx lives in one of the worst, therefore one of the cheapest neighborhoods in London. He occupies 2 rooms, the room looking out on the street, and the parlor, and the bedroom is at the back. There is not one clean or decent piece of furniture in either room, but everything is broken, tattered, and torn, with thick dust over everything, and the greatest untidiness everywhere. In the middle of the parlor, there is a large old-fashioned table covered with oilcloth. On it, there are manuscripts, books, and newspapers, as well as the children's toys, odds and ends, and his wife's sewing basket. Cups with broken rims, dirty spoons, knives and forks, lamps, an ink pot, tumblers, some Dutch clay pipes, tobacco ashes, all in a pile on the same table. But all these things do not in the least embarrass Marx or his wife. He received in the most friendly way and cordially offered pipes, tobacco, and whatever else there may happen to be. Eventually, a clever and interesting conversation arises which makes amends for all the domestic deficiencies. Yeah, he lived in a life of squalor. He was dirt poor. Thus, we are introduced to one of the most dramatic personalities to cross the pages of history during the 19th century. One who could have a greater impact dead than alive. Biographers grapple with the enigma of Marx's life. At one moment, Marx would be called the greatest genius of this age. And a moment later, even his disciples would feel forced to call him a violent, quarrelsome, contentious man, a dictator, and a swashbuckler. One feud with all the world and continually alarmed lest he should be unable to assert his superiority. Such were the contradictory, surging forces of human dynamics, which found expressions in the turbulent personality of Karl Marx. The early life of Karl Marx. Karl Marx first saw the light of day at Treves, Germany, May 5th, 1818. Certainly had no need to apologize for his progenitors. For many generations, his male ancestors on both sides have been outstanding scholars and distinguished rabbis. Oh, there you go. However, the father of Karl Marx decided to break the ties of the past, both religiously and professionally. So, his dad was a Jew, his dad was a rabbi, and God damn it. There you go. It's the whole crux of communism. Now you know where it comes from, Judaism. And I'll go into that and solving the mysteries of Babylon the Great, which I will be getting back into later on as well. Karl Marx was 6 years of age when the traditional mourning of the family were thus uprooted, as some biographers of Marx attributed his rejection of religion in later years to the conflicts which this sudden change in his life precipitated. In elementary school, young Karl revealed himself to be a quick, bright scholar. He also revealed a quality which would plague him the rest of his life. His inability to keep a friend. Seldom in all of Marx's writings do we find a reference to any happy boyhood associations. Biographers say he was too intense, too anxious, too dominant the situation, too concerned about personal success, too belligerent in his self-assertiveness to keep many friends. However, Karl Marx was not lacking in sentiment and genuine hunger for affection. At 17, when he began his university career, the letters which he wrote to his parents occasionally unveiled deeply sentimental, women-like feelings. Here's an example. Excuse me. In the hope that the clouds which hang over our family will gradually disperse, that I shall be permitted to share your sufferings and mingle my tears with yours, and perhaps in direct touch with you, to show the profound affection, the immeasurable love, which I have not always been able to express as I should like, in the hope that you too, my fondly and eternally loved father, bearing in mind how much my feelings have been storm-tossed, with forgiving me, because my heart must often have seemed to you to have gone astray, when the travail of my spirit was depraving it of the power of utterance. In the hope that you will soon be fully restored to health, that I shall be able to clasp you in my arms, and to tell you all that I feel I remain always your loving son, Karl. Such expressions must have puzzled the elder Marx. Throughout his career as a father, he was never able to console or cross this hot-tempered sun without precipitating an emotional explosion. The letters of Karl Marx make frequent reference to the violent quarrels between him and his parents. The letters from Karl's parents complain of his egoism, his lack of consideration for the family, his constant demands for money, and his discourtesy in failing to answer most of their letters. Marx is a young man. It was in the fall of 1835 that Marx entered the University of Bonn to study law. This was a hectic year. He scandalized his parents by joining a tavern club, running himself deeply in debt, and almost getting himself expelled from nocturnal drunkenness and riot. Studies were most unsatisfactory, and he threatened to become a professional poet instead of a lawyer. In the summer of 1836, he fought a duel and received a wound over the eye. It was finally decided that it would be better for the University of Bonn if Marx had transferred to some other university. The elder Marx heartily agreed. Karl Marx sent to Berlin. It was at the University of Berlin. I think that was the same university that Schittler attended too. That the intellectual forces in Karl Marx became sinews, and the whole pattern of his life began to take shape. Although he complied with his father's wishes and studied law, it was a half-hearted camouflage to cover up his avid exploration of philosophy. In the midst of this exploration, his father died, and Marx immediately came out in the open with his announcement that he would seek an academic career. He wanted to occupy a chair of philosophy at some university. Marx chose for his doctoral dissertation the difference between the natural philosophy of Democritus and of Epicurus. In the study, he favored the materialism of Epicurus because it allowed for an energizing principle in matter. He thought that if matter were autodynamic, it would do away with the need for a creator, designer, or governing force in the universe. The anti-religious sentiment of Marx found further expression in his thesis when he chose for its motto the cry of Prometheus. In one word, I hate all the gods. During this period of intellectual incubation, three things dominated the thinking of Karl Marx: his desire to discover a philosophy of nature, his desire to completely repudiate all forms of religion, and his desire to win the hand of the daughter of Baron von Westphalen. While Marx was at the University of Berlin, he fell in with a left-wing school of Hegelians, who were followers of the German philosopher George Wilhelm Hegel. Oh shit, there's one of those names. George Wilhelm. And it's not Wilhelm, it's Wilhelm. Will. Their W's are pronounced with the V. At the moment, their whole energy was consumed by a desire to liquidate Christianity. David Friedrich Strauss published his Life of Jesus in 1835, shocked all Germany with his contention that the Gospels were not true historical documents, but were merely myths which he believed evolved from the communal imagination of early Christians. Close associate of Marx, Bruno Bauer, wrote on the same theme in 1840 under the title Historical Criticism of the Synoptic Gospels. In this book, he claimed the Gospels were forgeries. He said Jesus had never existed, that he was a figure of fiction, and therefore Christianity was a fraud. At this point, Bauer and Marx decided they would boldly publish a journal of atheism. But the magazine lacked financial sponsorship and died in gestation. Nevertheless, the anti-Christian campaign gained another eloquent protagonist named Ludwig Feuerbach, who came out in 1841 with his Essence of Christianity. He not only ridiculed Christianity, but presented the thesis that man is the highest form of intelligence in the entire universe. This exotic flash of speculation fascinated Marx. He had written the same idea into his thesis for a doctorate. And I'm gonna need to drop a nut. God damn. Fascinating Marx. He had written the same idea into his thesis for a doctorate. Marx had bluntly said it is necessary to recognize as the highest divinity the human self-conscious itself. The government's reaction to this anti-Christian campaign took a serious turn. Therefore, Marx decided it would not be prudent to present his thesis to the University of Berlin, where he had been studying. His friend Bruno Bauer suggested that he go to the University of Jena. Marx followed this suggestion and consequently received his degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Figure. The institution in April of 1841. Shortly afterwards, however, a leveling blow wiped out his passionate ambition to become a professor of philosophy at some German university. This resulted from the fact that Marx collaborated with Bauer in writing a pamphlet which was vigorously investigated because of its revolutionary flavor. Oh, excuse me. When the Prussian officials identified the authors, Bauer was summarily dismissed from the University of Bonn, and Marx was assured that he would never Oh, shit. Excuse me. I had a yawn there. Government's reaction to this shortly afterwards, however, leveling blah 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 blah, Prussians blah blah blah, revolutionary spirit flamed high in Marx. Somehow he must start a movement to remake the world. However, to succeed in such a task, he felt he must have the companionship of Jenny von Westphalen. Oh, goddamn. Sorry. I kind of nodded off there. It's past my bedtime, y'all. And I lost where I was. Between March and I skipped through a bunch apparently. Ha! Afterwards, however, a leveling blow wiped out his passion and ambitions to become a professor of philosophy at some German university. This resulted in the fact Marx collaborated with Bauer. There we go. Now the revolutionary spirit flamed and high in Marx. Somehow, fuck. See, that's how fast I can nod off. In June 1843, the wedding took place. At the time, the bridegroom was unemployed, and Jenny von Westphalen soon discovered that this was to be a permanent characteristic of their entire married life. Karl Marx never acquired the slightest comprehension of the responsibilities which a husband assumes as the head of a family. Nevertheless, Johnny van Westphalen remained loyal and devoted to Karl Marx under circumstances which would have crushed a woman of weaker mettle. After the marriage, they had a 5-month honeymoon, following which they went to Paris, where Marx hoped to collaborate in publishing a revolutionary organ called the Franco-German Yearbooks. Publication collapsed after its first issue, and Marx spent the next 15 months in the pleasant task of studying and writing. This was to be the pattern of his whole life. In later years, while his family was starving, he could be found at the library devoting himself to the interesting but, for him, completely unmaneuverable study of higher mathematics. Voltaire referred derisively to the breed of men who cannot run their own families and therefore retreat to their attics so that from there they can run the whole world. Marx seemed to fit this pattern, although he seemed physically indolent. Marx was actually capable of prodigious quantities of intellectual work if it dealt with the subject which interested him. Otherwise, it would not stir. As a result of these personal characteristics, Marx never did acquire a profession, an office, a regular occupation, or a dependable means of livelihood. Concerning this phase of his career, a friendly biographer states, regular work bored him, conventional occupation put him out of humor. Without a penny in his pocket and with his shirt pawned, he surveyed the world with a lordly air. Throughout his life, he was hard up. He was ridiculously ineffectual in his endeavors to cope with the economic needs of his household and family, and in his incapacity in monetary matters involved him in an endless series of struggles and catastrophes. He was always in debt, was insistently being doomed by creditors. Half his household goods were always at the pawn shop. His budget defied all attempts to set it in order. His bankruptcy was chronic. The thousands upon thousands which Engels hundreds over to him melted away in his fingers like snow. Frederick Engels. 51 minutes left in the chapter. Yeah, I'm not going to make it another fucking 51 minutes. We're going to pick up where I left off here next time. I wanted to make it through chapter 1, but I'm going to end up nodding off. Fuck. And I'm not surprised nobody really showed up and people didn't stick around long. Educational shit's kind of boring, and I don't exactly have visuals to kind of work with this. So y'all just been staring at Broly and listening to a voice. When I pick up next time, I'll be talking about Frederick Engels.
And the Revolution of 1848. So I hope to see you there. I'm gonna go to bed. Again, thanks for hanging out. Here's y'all some No Square Gnome. Thank you to those that are still subscribed. Support has been greatly appreciated. Thank you to those just recently subscribed. Hope you stick around for the long run. California Ford, VJ Max Gamers, good seeing you. Sean St. George, Soldier Girl 2022, Goddamn Bacon. Be sure to check him out. Great conversations are always had over there. Aaron Holmes, Mike Carrier, Seriously Podcast. Make sure to check him out for his little cringy podcast. Great conversations are always had over there, and his gaming streams. And Cubing Speed. Always a pleasure. Thank you to those who are still subscribed. Support has been greatly appreciated. Thank you to those just recently subscribed. Hope you stick around for the long run. I'll be back tomorrow in the AM. No, I'm doing my outro. And I'm going to bed because it's 4:30 and I nodded off there for a few minutes. So, chaos out. Cheers.
Goddamn Bacon said, well, cheers, y'all.
Oh.
How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? How